What's up, Magic fans? Mackenzie Thurkill here for an all-new episode of Soundoff presented by Socios. Today, I'm joined by Trenton and James, and we talk all things Orlando Magic, from the improvement of Wendell Carter Jr. to the return of Cole Anthony and some of our favorite moments from this season thus far. Check it out. What's up, Magic fans? Mackenzie Thurkill here with you for an all-new episode of Soundoff presented by Socios. And today, I am joined by Trenton and James. Guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join me to talk all things Orlando Magic basketball. Before we get into it, I want to know where both of you two are coming from. I'm obviously holding it down here in Florida. Trenton, where are you at?
I'm up in Alaska. I'm in Juneau, Alaska, the capital.
Hey!
And reporting live, Atlanta, Georgia, baby.
I love it. I need some backstory because obviously we have so many fans that come on here who are not even living in the state of Florida because we are just all over the place. So Trenton, how did you become a Magic fan being in Alaska?
It was in elementary school. I think it was in like third or second grade. My friend his name was Conil. He still is a big Lakers fan, and I was like, I can't choose his one. So I went through all the teams, and I chose the one I thought had the best logo, and I ended up with the Magic. And I've been a fan ever since.
I love it.
Great choice.
James, what about you?
Well, I've always been a Magic fan for real, but honestly, my first game I saw, Tracy McGrady was just going crazy, and from that moment, I've been a Magic fan. Big shout out to Tracy McGrady.
Yeah, T-Mac has that effect, right? When you watch him back in his day.
Yep, the goat in my eyes.
I like it. But speaking of players who have been making an impact, let's get right in to our first topic, which is Wendell Carter Jr., who has really been making strides so far this season. And I just want to talk about really his development and what we've been seeing from him. Obviously, he's really started taking a turn since that Chicago Bulls game after Thanksgiving. And he even talked about that he really wanted to focus his efforts this season on consistency. He talked about how he's watching a lot more film. He's learning guys, weaknesses and strengths and how he should be defending them. And while he's improved offensively, it's really his defense that's been shining so far. So I just really want to get your thoughts on Dell so far this season. Trenton, I'll start with you.
I think, seeing him work in the paint, especially when he has to balance it between Mo and himself, who are both really big defenders who hold down that area. He's been really good at controlling the people that post up and stuff like that. I think from his switch, I think in 2019 when he was on the Bulls, he had a little bit more time, just like a minute more than he averages now. But all of his stats have improved, even with a little less minutes now this year. And it's really nice to see that all-around improvement while he's finally getting himself structured in this new and rebuilding team.
Yeah. Definitely. Just like talking about that. This season, he's made 33 three-pointers, which is 6 more than he's made in his first 3 NBA seasons. So that's just shown where he's grown offensively, and he's shooting over 50% from the field right now this season, which you love to see it from a big man. James, what have you seen from Dell?
You gotta like it. But yeah, man. I like the aggressiveness he brings every night. Like, no matter if we're up, down, he's going to give you his all every night. And that's what I like to see out of a big man in the league. And then his three-point game, as you mentioned, I really like that. We got to get that pick and pop going a little more in my eyes. I'm going to need to see a little more of that, but we're going to get it going. The season's still early. But yeah, as long as we keep it like we're going, keep working in the gym, he's going to be the man.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when you're a big man, like you're competing up against some of the best. You have guys like AD, you have guys like Giannis. Like there are some really well-known big men in this league. Vooch. And when we look at what he's done defensively in these last couple games, against Vooch, held him to 16 points. Joel Embiid held him to 16 points. Nikola Jokic held him to 18 points. Like that's what you want to see when you're going up against those caliber players, especially when you're only in your 4th season.
Yes, seeing those strides, it's really impressive because I get nervous about all these big name players that are heading in, but like seeing Wendell Carter being able to control them and not letting them do the thing that they usually do and drop 30 every night. And it's really nice to see that change, even though it's not all around and maybe they don't get the win, but seeing the individual change against like all-stars where they have to focus on their other teammates, it's nice to see that the defense is just, it's good.
I like that he's holding his own out there.
Yeah, he really is. And for this just being such a young team in general, like those three players that I just mentioned who we're going up against, like they've put their time in this league. They are the names that they are for their performance and their production. And I know Wendell wants to be that guy. He talks about it. He wants to be in this league and he wants to bring his A game every single time. It really helps, I think, having a head coach like Jamal Mosley. You hear about the bell plays, as we've been saying all season long. He wants to see the aggressiveness from tip off right until the very end. And I think Dell has absolutely encapsulated all of that. And just seeing.
I agree.
Yeah.
The spacing on this team, like, it's better than I would have ever imagined, like heading in, especially with two big men who are very strong in the paint. Like seeing the spacing is just really good, and it's impressive to see how they've improved on that 3-point shot.
Yeah, definitely. And just the way that him and Mo have been able to like work together as well, because I know that there's been a lot of question marks, and there are still a lot of question marks. A lot of people are still questioning whether or not this is the right approach, but you see how well they are working together and how Dell kind of allows Mo to be really that organic type of natural center that we're accustomed to seeing, as opposed to the way this game is really changing. And they're able to kind of play off each other's strengths and weaknesses, which in terms helps us get those dubs in.
Shout out to Mo Bamba.
Shout out to Mo Bamba. That's right. But there's a couple other players who have really brought their A game so far this season. Of course, one of them, and we have to talk about him, Cole Anthony, who made his return earlier this week against the Denver Nuggets. He had been out for 6 games. Of course, he's been running point for the Orlando Magic this season, with Markelle still being injured. So let's talk about Cole Anthony and the return of Cole Anthony, because it's something that needs to be talked about. So James, what do you got to say about our man Cole?
Money man. Yes, sir. Cole is the man right now. He's feeling it. He's hot. And I feel like he's going to keep it going on all season as long as I'm not even going to speak any negativity on anything, but as long as we keep it pushing, he's going to keep this same momentum up, and then it's only up from here.
I like it.
And that point average is going to go up too. We're going to average 24 this season.
Okay. All right. He's averaging 19.6 right now, so I like it. He's averaging 19.6. Mind you, last season, he was averaging 12.9.
It was like 12. So, yeah, most improved player of the year this year, too.
I like it. Trenton.
Yeah, it's just like seeing him like all around, like the way he scores or he gets into a rhythm and he's hitting these crazy threes. Like it's super impressive. And not only that, but he's great on the assists, and he's a really underrated rebounder too. Like even though he's one of the shorter guards in the league, like he gets up there to get that ball, and it's impressive.
Yeah, you even like think about the first Knicks win that we got. It was because of his rebounding, and I know Dante even asked him in that post-game interview about it. Like, man, like, and Terrence Ross was giving him tard. He's like, "You're 6 foot nothing, 5'8", and you're getting all these boards." But Cole said he's like, "Why not? Like, why not make myself that guy to do it?" I know I talked about the differential in him last season between his points per game, but this season rebounds, he's averaging 6.8 rebounds. Last year it was 4.7. His assists went up. He's averaging 5.9 per game. Last season 4.1. Just all around has completely improved. So Cole Anthony, I think we all know how important he is to this team. When he wasn't on the floor, when he was out with injuries for those 6 games, Orlando Magic struggled to put together a win. So with that being said, what are you hoping to see from him for the rest of the season? I know, James, you said you want to have him at 24 points per game. Trenton, what are you hoping to see?
Oh, 24? I mean, I don't see what's wrong with pushing for 25. I see him score.
But he really is just so important for this team. I know it's actually interesting. So his dad, Greg Anthony, obviously well-known former NBA player, analyst now. It's been funny. I've been following him on Twitter, and he pretty much talks about the Magic after every game, and he's been talking a lot about his son. understandably so. And he brought mention to something that Jake Chapman, who is our radio guy, we were talking about yesterday. And Greg was saying that Cole is just one of those guys, no matter what, is always positive. He just carries this confidence around with him. And it's kind of, you see it bleed into the scene. We see it in his post-game interviews when he's all hyped. He's calling his guys out. Like, he has brought such a good energy to this team and to this locker room. And I think we've all been able to, like, actually see it this season, even more so than we did last year.
Yeah, what's it called? One thing I can say about Cole, also, he might be in year 2, but he's like, he doesn't show it for real. Not knocking any young players, but like, he comes off to me as like a vet in the young body. Like, he's like a leader. Like, he gets his guys going. He also puts the work in on the floor. Like, he's a vet to me, even though he's only in year 2.
Definitely.
Seeing him just on the court, like as he takes the ball up and he's like telling people where to go, what to do, and the hype that he brings, it's just like I can't imagine what the crowd is like in person, because like seeing the shots and like his attitude about the game is great too. Like in all of his interviews, it's like it doesn't matter win or loss, he's determined. Mm-hmm. He's ready to get back in and give it like his best effort.
I know, Trenton, with you being Alaska, we need to get you to a Magic game so you can experience the crowd when they are hyped on Cole Anthony doing MVP chants like we saw in the Utah Jazz game.
Yeah, that's a dream for me. I hope I'll get there one day, but
gotta make it happen. But with that being said, while we are only a 5-win team so far this season, we will have more wins by end of the year. What has been both of your favorite moments of the season so far? James, I will start with you.
My favorite moments will honestly be like the progression I'm seeing from the team and the individual progressions. Like, even though we may not be winning everything, we're still out there giving our and competing, as I formerly mentioned. And like, that's just what I like. That's my favorite part of the season, just the fight we have.
I like it. I was expecting, like a win against the Knicks, a win against the Jazz or the Nuggets or performances, but I think that's an answer that I know Jamal Mosley would very much appreciate, because that's all he's wanting from his guys.
And I appreciate Jamal Mosley for bringing the fight back to Orlando.
Trenton, what's been your favorite moment of the season so far?
Yeah, after James' answer, it makes me feel like mine's a little childish. But I mean, seeing Franz Wagner dunk on Jared Vanderbilt and Karl Anthony Towns, like,
oh yeah,
I jumped out of my bed when that happened. I was like, oh my god,
yeah,
that was hella crazy.
Yeah, can we talk about, just speaking of Franz, and I know we've talked about him on this show, but just talking about how much this team has progressed. I know a lot of people weren't thinking much of Franz when he was initially drafted, but that man has shown out so far in his rookie campaign.
Rookie of the year.
Hey, I support that. I've been telling that to all my friends. Yeah, I think I heard a lot of people saying that he was going to be nothing more than a 3-and-D player, and like seeing him out there like actively proving people wrong, like it's awesome to see. And like since he got drafted, I was like, all right, he's going to be the GOAT. Like I said it as a joke, but of course I was always supporting him. I was like, he's going to be good and he's going to develop. And I think, like, I know they're rebuilding and they're not getting all those wins now, but the development of all these players on the team, like, you can see that it's happening, and it's good work.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously a lot of that starts with Jamal Mosley, but I would credit Cole Anthony with a lot of that, just bringing that confidence and keeping everyone in a positive mindset, because he's not letting any of them get down on themselves. Obviously, it's easy to get down on yourselves. For instance, last night when you missed that buzzer-beating 3, it's easy to, get down on your luck, but you see how quickly these guys try to turn it around and put their efforts into the next game, because it's a long season and you got to put things behind you. I know Jalen told Cole earlier this season from Ted Lasso, you got to be a goldfish, 10-second memory. Like, it happens, be done. But you do see a lot of that this season in terms of these guys really just trying to progress and just better themselves, whether it be for this season or even the next. But James, Trenton, I appreciate you guys again taking time out of your day to join me to talk all things Orlando Magic basketball. Again, I'm Mackenzie Thurkill, and this is Soundoff presented by Socios.